What if I told you the FBI's latest high-profile arrests might just expose one of the darkest underbellies in professional sports? Two NBA names, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, suddenly caught in a web that's about far more than basketball. This isn't just about gambling, it's about who really controls the game behind the game. Let's break it down, because this story goes way deeper than anyone expected. When the news broke that both Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier were arrested in connection to a federal investigation, the sports world froze. Social media exploded, fans confused, reporters scrambling, and former teammates going silent. But what most people missed was the tone of the press conference. Federal investigators didn't just talk about sports betting or player misconduct. They used words like organized crime, family operations, and international syndicate. They even name-dropped the Gambino and Genovese families, notorious pillars of the Italian mafia. But according to insiders, that's only half the story. Behind the applause for the takedown of Italian organized crime, one investigative journalist argued something bigger. That organized crime in sports isn't limited to one ethnicity, one culture, or one name. He claimed there's an entire hidden network, including Black and Jewish organized crime factions, that's quietly infiltrated sports gambling. Yet he says you'll never hear that in a government press conference. Find me one official, he says, who's ever held a press event announcing the takedown of Black organized crime or Jewish organized crime. It's a provocative statement, but one that cuts right into the heart of what's happening inside modern sports. The NBA has openly embraced gambling partnerships in recent years. FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. Billboards, ad integrations, even team-sponsored betting lounges have become normal. But here's the issue. When you combine gambling, massive player salaries, and private business interests worth billions, the lines between entertainment, influence, and manipulation blur fast. This investigation appears to be the first major crack in that foundation. And according to the commentary, this isn't just about player misconduct, it's about systemic corruption. Here's where things take a darker turn. The commentator claims the NBA is controlled by an elite circle of Jewish businessmen, while Black athletes serve as the face of the entertainment machine. He adds that many of those athletes, influenced by hip-hop culture, have adopted mafia imagery and criminal personas as symbols of power. To him, this isn't a coincidence. It's part of a psychological manipulation, a blending of crime culture and sports heroism that blurs what's right, what's wrong, and who's really in control. And this isn't just about image. He points to moments like LeBron James shouting out "Big Meech." The founder of the Black Mafia family assigns that criminal iconography has become normalized in the culture of professional sports. When LeBron James publicly sent love to Big Meech after his release from prison, it wasn't a random shout-out. It symbolized how far street legend status has seeped into basketball identity. Athletes wear mob symbolism on jewelry, quote gang leaders in songs, and emulate the gangster lifestyle as if it's part of the game's mythology. The video's creator argues this is intentional cultural conditioning. The players idolize crime figures. The owners profit from their influence. And the fans consume it all as entertainment. And when the FBI finally moves in, everyone acts surprised. Then came the political bombshell. According to the host, former President Donald Trump and his ally Kash Patel have been aware of these money-laundering entertainment networks for years. The argument, Trump's public feud with athletes and the NBA, wasn't random. It was strategic. He claims Trump understood that sports leagues weren't just entertainment. They were media tools used to shape narratives, promote ideology, and hide corruption. Meanwhile, ESPN and mainstream outlets, he says, continue to protect those interests, rarely reporting the full scope of the investigations. To understand why these arrests hit so hard, you have to follow the money trail. Over the past decade, sports gambling revenue has skyrocketed from under $5 billion to nearly $100 billion worldwide. The NBA, NFL, and MLB now have official betting sponsors, meaning legal gambling is no longer outside the system, it is the system. Behind those deals sit private investors, offshore partners, and entertainment networks with political and cultural leverage. The video's narrator calls this the shadow economy of sports, an invisible layer of influence where deals are brokered not in arenas, but in backrooms. And when you look closer, the pattern gets even stranger. Billups, a respected coach, and Rozier, an active player, allegedly had contacts tied to these betting networks. Federal agents suggest money moved through shell accounts, offshore wallets, and social influencers who help mask the paper trail. It's not about a few bad bets. It's about who was pulling the strings and why the FBI suddenly decided to make these arrests now. Some analysts believe the timing is no accident. The U.S. government has been quietly tightening its grip on sports betting operations after seeing how much organized crime has merged with digital gambling. And the NBA, one of America's biggest cultural exports, just became the latest battlefield. Just as the story was heating up, ESPN's Stephen A. Smith mentioned the arrests on First Take. But instead of condemning Trump, Smith allegedly brought him up in a neutral or even understanding light, a rare move from someone usually critical of him. That subtle shift caught the commentator's attention. He wondered aloud if ESPN's silence meant something bigger, that the network knew how deep this story went and wanted to keep it from exploding into public view. If that's true, it's one of the most carefully managed crises the NBA has faced since the Donaghy scandal. Then came a bizarre twist. Former player Gilbert Arenas, who'd once been arrested for bringing a gun into an NBA locker room, began joking online about snitching and cooperating with the feds. The video used his comments as an example of moral collapse. Players turning crime into comedy, while sponsors reward them with podcasts, brand deals, and airtime. Arenas, the narrator points out, is one of YouTube's biggest sports personalities right now, second only to Pat McAfee in digital reach. That success, the host says, isn't random. It's part of a system that rewards controversy, dysfunction, and moral confusion. As the dust settles, the picture looks grim. A league that once symbolized unity and athletic excellence now finds itself painted as a breeding ground for corruption, manipulation, and greed. Billups and Rozier may just be the public faces of something far more systemic. Behind the sponsorships and highlight reels lies an entertainment empire, where gambling, criminal networks, and political interests quietly intersect. And if that's true, this isn't just a sports story, it's a wake-up call about who's really writing the rules. The NBA's moral center has eroded. The same culture that glamorizes criminal lifestyles, tolerates corruption, and profits from chaos, is now eating itself from the inside. The host insists he's not defending crime families. He's exposing hypocrisy, because as long as the system rewards the wrong people and silences the truth tellers, this cycle will never end. He ends with a challenge. Don't just watch the highlights. Follow the money, follow the influence, follow the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button so the algorithm doesn't bury it. Subscribe to stay ahead of stories they don't want you to hear, and drop a comment. Do you believe the arrests of Billups and Rozier were isolated, or the start of something much bigger? Stay alert, stay informed, because the truth doesn't trend, it breaks through.